Hi guys, so I want to talk about something, a tool that may help your thought process when it comes to expenditure in your business. So, just give you a little bit of background. I'm talking about the Profit First system, and one of the things it helps you with is it gives you a little bit of a lens and a perspective to help make better decisions when it comes to spending. Despite what a lot of people think, it's not all about expense cutting. There's a lot of human psychology. There's a lot of innovation that gets created from using the profit first method. However, being on top of your expenses is generally a good practice. So it's a good habit for you as a business owner because things will creep away from you. So here's a nice tool that wasn't created by me originally, but is part of the Profit First ecosystem. It was created a few years back by Susie Welch, who's part of the Profit First community. But I'm going to share it with you guys today because I think it's quite useful as a thinking tool. So essentially we all get that kind of that dopamine hit when we buy something. We get excited, or we might maybe get a bit of buyer's remorse, and we might actually feel down. So there's a kind of a short term and a longer term consequence to spending. And when we buy something, my wife just got a new car and she's super excited at the moment. She wants to share it with everyone, and that's going to die down over time. And we also kind of get used to whatever that thing is, and it becomes normal for us. So this is a useful tool, just kind of think forward in terms of the secondary consequences of making a decision. So okay, so if you proceed with purchasing something, um and this doesn't have to actually be for buying. This could be for something else. So you could actually get quite creative with this thinking tool. It just helps you make better decisions and helps you get your own thoughts on paper. But you could apply it to making a big decision in your life as well. But that's a bit too deep for what I'm talking about today. So I'm going to use something a little bit more every day or every quarter to bring it to make it feel a bit more relevant with you. So if you were to buy something, how would you kind of feel about it in the next 10 minutes? What would be your initial feeling in the next 10 minutes? Then try and look in advance. How do you think you'll feel about that in 10 months' time? And how do you think you'll feel about it in 10 years' time? And this is if you go ahead with that particular purchase. Now, what you can do is you can look at what if you do not make that purchase. How will that make you feel in 10 minutes? Not going ahead, not taking action. How will that make you feel in 10 months? And how will that make you feel in 10 years? So I'm going to give you a really nice example. Well, when I say nice, a nice simple example, a laptop. So, let's pretend it's the latest MacBook or whatever it means to you, new fancy Windows machine. So let's just use it as an example to bring it to life. So if I'm thinking about buying a new laptop, how will I feel next 10 minutes? Well, depending what sort of laptop it is, if it's a new MacBook and you're a bit of an Apple fanboy like me, you'll probably be quite excited for the next 10 minutes. How will I feel in the next 10 months? I'm probably not going to really care. It's just going to be part of my stuff. It's just going to be one of the things. There's I can't remember who wrote it. I think it was Greg, something called essentialism, just talking about removing things from our life. So we can all relate to that. The stuff just accumulates. So in 10 months, I'm probably not necessarily that fussed. In 10 years, it means absolutely nothing to me. I won't even have it really. Well, I won't, will I? So somebody might have it somewhere down the line. Although with the OS updates, they become pretty much unusable, most computers, within a few years. If I don't proceed with that new MacBook in my example, I might feel a little bit down for the next 10 minutes because I might be, I was looking forward to that. I knew I was going to get that dopamine hit. I knew I was going to be excited. So I might feel a little bit down for 10 minutes. In 10 months, so in 10 months, this gives you a bit of perspective in this example. It depends. And it helps give you clarity actually on, is it a need or a want in terms of that new laptop? Because if your current laptop was too old, then actually in 10 months' time, you're probably going to be running into issues. You might even be running into issues now. So that's a bit of a pain point, and that's going to cause you friction if you don't take action. However, if it's not too old, if it's just last year's MacBook, it's probably going to make no difference in real terms to you. So, that's the crux of it. And then you still might decide to buy, if you've got last year's MacBook, but let's be honest, it's a want, not a need at that point. In 10 years, again, it means absolutely nothing. So hopefully that's brought it to light. This is my example. You could play around with it. I'll give you access to the tool below, and give me a shout if you've got any questions.